Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to show you what you can learn from the Azarenka forehand and backhand to help improve your ground strokes. So first, thank you to Essential Tennis for allowing me to use this video. Make sure you subscribe to their awesome channel. I put their link in the description below. So the first thing, take your racket back with the tip pointing up and the strings facing the crowd. That's what it's called. So you got the tip of the racket pointing up, and her strings are pointing to the crowd. She's going to do the same thing on the backhand. She's taking the racket back, tip pointing up, strings to the crowd. And this actually is for the two-hander and the one-hander. It's the same thing. Take your racket back with the tip of the racket pointing up. This is also called on edge. Why? If you look at her racket, you can see that her racket gets on edge to the opponent. Now, it can go a little past that, which is fine, but it's important that you get to this point. This is not very common, especially on the backhands of recreational players, where usually recreational players, if they keep their racket up on the turn, they'll get it to here, and then they'll begin to drop. And the problem is, when you drop from here, you can't make a C swing. So get your racket, film yourself from the front, and see if your racket gets on edge, meaning all you see is the edge of the racket. And it should be like that on both the backhand and the forehand. The next thing is you want to draw a circular swing to get to the ball. You want the C swing. So watch. Her racket never pauses and it smoothly swings around to contact. So she doesn't drop straight down. You don't want any jagged edges, if you can help it, on your swing. She does the same thing on the backhand. Look how it's the letter C. I mean, this is truly the letter C because of the direction we're looking at her racket. But she draws a letter C to get to the contact. The letter C swing allows for a smooth transition from the backswing, the high turn, to the contact. That way you can keep your momentum and keep your speed going and actually build up the speed on your swing. Most recreational players I see who struggle with speed on their swing have jagged edges to their swing, meaning they drop and then they stop and then they go to the ball. They'll drop down or they'll drop, go back, and then to the ball. So there are all these jagged edges to their swing. You want a smooth circular swing in order to build up speed, like a fast-pitch softball pitcher using that windmill circular swing in order to build up arm speed. She does hit topspin. She closes her racket face ever so slightly, and you can see that. Look at her strings tilted down ever so slightly. That's going to make it easier for her to then swing low to high, and she's penetrating this ball. She's not swinging severely low to high, putting a ton of spin. She's hitting this pretty flat, but it does have rotation on the ball. Same thing on the backhand. A slight amount of racket closure, and then she's swinging from below to above. The last thing I want to share with you in this video is when she's done, how much, we really just can't see her face, and that she is covering up her face with her bicep. What I like to tell people is when you're done on the forehand and backhand, whether it's the two-hander or one-hander, you want to expose your armpit. And so we can't see her face. And I can remember just 3 days ago, I had a student on the court. I said, when you're done, I want you to cover up your face with your arm. And that gets you swinging up. Tennis is a lifting game. So notice her hitting hands are higher than her eyes. Finish up like that. She's a Grand Slam champ. You want to swing up. I know that there are different players on the tours, men and women, who have different finishes. I get it. But this type of finish where your armpits are exposed, your hitting armpits are exposed, means you're swinging up enough to put topspin on the ball and lift it safely over the net for height, which gives you consistency so you don't hit the net, and depth so you can force an error on your opponent. So please go out and film yourself from the front view and look for these things. Look to see that your racket gets on edge. The racket should get on edge to the camera's view with the strings facing obviously off to the side. Strings will face to the crowd with the tip of the racket pointing up. Draw a circular swing. See if you can draw a circle, whether you've got a swing that stays more on the chest side of your body or a racket that goes slightly behind. It doesn't matter. The shape of the swing is going to be the same. It's just, is it kind of like a lowercase c or a capital C? How big is the swing? That's kind of the question that varies from player to player, but the shape of the swing needs to be the same. Make sure that you're closing your racket face, swinging low to high up the back. And this finish for amateurs, for recreational players, is a game changer. Finish with your armpits exposed to the opponent. You follow these ideas, there is no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.